Hello everyone, welcome back. I guess the title of the video says it all. Reaching the limits of this old reality. It's a very interesting and contrasting time right now as the energy amps up, although right now in the Northern Hemisphere, well, we're kind of slowed down in accretion, and because of the certain weird things begin to happen again, but still not at the intensity and the level of what happened, well, last year, but we'll see how this will go on over the next month. I just want to point out a few things, a few facts and insights that might be helpful to understand why things are the way they are, and why am I saying that we're reaching the limits of this old reality. Everyone experience some kind of internal or external crisis. Either you have lived through one, or you see someone experiencing something like this. It's an individual thing, group thing, or a larger group, as in country, region, whatever continent. Right now we experience this with the war, but I explain what that is, implants. But these things happen because the energetic environment allows for this to happen, as more minds still are caught in certain stories, personal, group stories, so those things can express and then can be felt or seen, experienced by more people, not just one. So the thing that unites us is the points of connection, the type of information that we share with each other, and what we allow us to be true, and that becomes our experience as well. Well, depending on how many points of connection we have with each other, in terms of experience, in terms of the story, whatever, this will express in our reality as well, well, in different ways. I mean, levels of intensity, how real that is. So there's a lot of things happening at once, and it's not really settling for most people. It's just, wow, what's going on? We had a pandemic, now we have a war, we have this and this, all this insanity. Before that it was this, and God knows what's going to happen next. Exactly. What's going to happen next is that as we reach the end of this, how should I say, level in accretion, or so to speak, is moving to the next level. It's not about doing the same things. It's not about having the same mind. It's one of the things that I emphasize every time I have the chance, basically in every video, is just you cannot have the same mind about life, about how you do things, about how, well, you think about things as you had it until now, if your mind has been very into this, like, good and bad, this, like, the polarity system. Things have been that way because energetic, that was the condition to experience reality. It had a purpose, but now, as we move past that, it's necessary to employ other things to move beyond or outside of that, so you can understand that no matter how much energy you're trying to put into something to solve it, certain things are not meant to be solved, because that's part of the, what I say, that's generated by the thing that actually generates the whole reality, to maintain, I say, not just a certain status quo, but like to give the environment for those that still want to play out, to play certain stories, to experience certain things, so that thing still is there to offer the space for those that need to experience certain drama, certain conflicts, certain whatever, tragedy, certain, well, low energy experience, certain things that cannot happen at a higher energy level. So from outside of it, it's not good or bad. It's just something that, oh, we wanted to experience this. We decided that we want to go there at the lower level of energy, and we're going to accrete back that energy. But while we do this, we're going to experience this and that conflict and that drama and that trauma and whatever. The problem is that throughout the journey in life, most people, like I said in previous videos, lose the quantum and lose themselves in the story, don't have the space to understand what actually is this all about? And reality and life and everything else, it's what shows up on the screen, and that's it. And that's very limited, and it's what makes a lot of people forget why they came here, and just go with these patterns. And the next point is exit. It's not more life, it's exit. It's like you get into something, into a pattern. It's like, oh, I'm following this, I'm following my love or my passion, this and that, whatever. And then the next point is exit, instead of like, okay, I'm going with this, but where do I make that shift when I want to experience this further, but at the next level? So I have to change something about myself. So this time is about this, changing ourselves. And this is not a nice thing to say, like I always to say and repeat and emphasize and annoy with. It's doing the work, it's staying in it with what's inside of you, acknowledging what's inside of you, all the dark corners, all the traumas, all the events that you've lived, and that somehow left some kind of imprint. Either it's negative, positive, whatever, that affects you or blocks you in a way that you cannot express more light, you cannot enhance your understanding, you cannot open yourself to more light, more love, more whatever. And this work is not easy. I always say that this is not easy. This is not for the faint-hearted. This is not for those that say, oh, I've done 300 steps, but the journey is 3 million. So if you step at 5,000, say, yeah, I've done enough work, I just don't want to do anymore. Yes, but the journey is 3 million steps. If you've done 5,000, then you're tired. I mean, I understand that you can get tired of it because it's not easy and there's so many obstacles here and so many distortions. But then again, you came here for this because it's exciting. So you want to give up. And the best next thing is like, you know what, I'm going to continue life the way I thought I'm supposed to, whatever. As I got into the story and oh, that's interesting and nice, so I'm just going to go with the pattern, and at some point I'm going to exit naturally because, well, I don't have enough quantum or light inside me to make those changes, make those shifts, to free my mind, because in the end it's about freeing one's mind, and then regain that power, access that power to transform myself and my reality. Because until then, it's just like I said, life is being done to you. You don't have any control. Because that's kind of how it starts, and that's how it's supposed to feel, that you don't have any control, because you don't control it from here. It's controlled from a much higher level, where there's more energy, and you in the end, you're directing yourself from higher self source. So you come here to feel that debilitated, that little, that small, to feel that, but also you're trying to get out of that. But when the light is gone out of you, or not enough because of this and that happened, and this traumatic event and this and that, whatever, there's a lot of people also, like I said, it's all about a matter of code. You don't see a way out. And like I said, most people choose to lose themselves in other things, to forget that maybe there's another way, but they lost the light, they lost the power to believe, the energy to believe that there's another way. And that's sad, it happens. Ultimately it doesn't matter, because you came to experience this either way, so it has value, whether you fail or not, in this attempt to move higher in energy with your bodies, and like to take your awareness, and not just like naturally, it's like by default exiting like everyone else. So it's a time now where there's more energy, obviously, also more obstacles, because of, I say, inside this type of reality, there's things that want to exist. They demand their space, time, energy, the quantum, for them to still exist, because they lost the awareness of what it is to be above a certain level. So those things are part of the fear level. So they are meant to maintain a certain state. So when you come here, you deal with those things. So that's not easy to break free from them. And that's why this work, it's about being constantly there. Like you cannot say, oh, I've done, like I said, 3,000 steps and I stop, when you need to do 3 million. And then like the more work you do, also you will encounter opposition, and you start to wonder, like, what am I doing wrong when actually I'm supposed to, I mean, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but it feels like I'm failing. Well, most of the time when you do the right thing, feels like failing, because the reality here demands certain things of you, and it says like, if you play like this, you're going to get this result, but also it's not guaranteed. But if you have different codes and you want other things, we're not going to support that. However, like I said, now as the energy supports more moving into higher, but the scale is tilting towards higher energy, not lower energy, is more, there's more support now to do that work, to break free. But like I said, most people are looking for a quick fix, looking for like, oh, meditation retreat or this and that, like something just to run away from what's inside, and not to do, like I said, not to confront all the stuff, because this is really hard. I mean, it's unpleasant most of the time. So a lot of people look at spirituality one day, like I said, this thing won't exist because it will be just living from the truth. So people look at spirituality as a way to escape their problems, escape the responsibility of doing something about it, doing the work that needs to be done, not expecting to be saved, just you have to do it, because even if I'm showing you something, you still have to do the work. Even if I could, but you still need to raise yourself so you can bring that power that you have to a level where it can express, and it shows you truth, the truth beyond this reality, and it supports you, and a lot of magical things start to happen from there. And now, as most people are lost, most people are lost in this reality, and what they see, oh, here this happened, whatever. Also, we see a lot of stagnation or distortion, and we've seen all sorts of things like fashion. This might seem like something too mundane, it's like too superficial, whatever. But fashion, like art, it's part of that beauty, that creativity that allows us to move forward and express more of our essence and power and qualities that are connected with higher realities. And we see a lot of distortions, a lot of, like I said, a lot of things that stagnate and feel stale and blocked. Well, at the same time, things are breaking down because the energy hits so hard that it breaks down a lot of these things. But still, some people, or most people, still want to hang on to what has been, how things have been done until now, and use things like technology with the old mind, like trying to go into the future with the old mind. And you cannot do that if you want to access more like expanded awareness, because there's just no space. It's very, very limited. It doesn't matter how much technology that most people don't understand. So you have another problem, is like technology is not on par with most people's awareness. They use it, but most people are like, say, kindergarten, and the technology is university level. So you have this gap in between. So when you have that, then you have stagnation or degradation of certain things that happen naturally when things no longer make sense. Well, it's kind of like a chaos that's like, we don't understand what's going on, so how do we get out of it? And like I said, it's that thing where you have to stop running, and you have to really like stop and look around. It's like, okay, what if I don't have to do extraordinary things on the outside, but the extraordinary has to happen on the inside and then will be expressed on the outside. And it's very easy. It's so satisfying. Like, because we're right now, and I have been also a big fan, like being productive, feeling like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm whatever, I'm in this reality, and it gives you a sense of like, oh, I'm productive and I'm doing things that I'm supposed to do, but at the same time, I'm losing quantum that I should use in actually doing other things that will enhance and will free me from this reality and actually accessing other things. Quietly, some people develop these new layers of awareness, by certain things happening in their lives, and maybe some start to actually do the work, and not just that, but like as I said, it's a combination of codes, work, events, things like that, stories that have to happen, so the mind can actually shift from the little box that has been until now. And I see this also in storytelling, in new ways of expanding the awareness through that. Also physical changes, like nothing really works. The food, like for me, the summer has been so absurd. There's just, like I've explained, every year some kind of physical changes when it comes to food, whatever patterns, things like this, what works, what doesn't work. And it's, like I said, this becomes so absurd and so extreme, like the body cannot tolerate anything, or I start to like develop some kind of allergies or whatever from the sun, because our biologies right now are changing, and the bodies are still carrying the imprint of the old reality. Well, I've been working to release that, but still, obviously, there are still things that I still need to release completely. But however, I've released enough to know that now I'm not as trapped as I was even a few years ago, when I felt like, yeah, I know where I'm supposed to go, but I'm still here because of this. Like I said, this past summer, a lot of energy has come in, and a lot of things have been broken down, like dissolved, like huge influx has washed away things that were impossible until now. Finally, I've been dislodged, dislocated from wherever they were attached, and they wouldn't leave. So that has helped immensely. But I'm not the only one that actually feels this physical transformation. Of course, everyone feels and experiences at different levels wherever they are on their journey. If they're at the beginning, somewhere, we're in the middle. So you will feel different things wherever you are on this journey. So nothing is the same. Nothing is easy anymore. It will become increasingly unpleasant in the sense, and at the same time freeing and liberating in other ways. But it demands that you are present. It demands that you look at what's going on inside you and work with that. And you decide that I'm not going to run away. I'm not going to turn the other way so I won't see this unpleasant thing. I'm just going to do it, And yeah, it's. I guess a lot of people are still scared at looking inside themselves, because it's not going to be pleasant when they're going to encounter those things that they fear, that they just like dread. But there's no easy way out. I mean, if you, like I said, if you expect to be saved, forget about that. That's really naive. And you're not going to have a lot of progress doing that. You can run in different directions outside of yourself, find this and that. Instead, I mean, just like, oh, this or that might save me. But in time, you'll realize that was energy spent on nothing, and I could have used that quantum on actually, you know what, I'm going to sit with myself, really get real, and just do this work that it's not glamorous, not sexy, but is the real thing, and is the thing that is making the difference and will move things to that level that I'm talking about, that I'm always trying to tell you, that there's this thing that exists and is coming, but without work you won't get there. I mean, with your physical body, because you need to release so many things from the old reality. And now it's this moment where you have the choice, either to go with what has been and exit like that, and like I said, in the higher reality, this will not appear, because this is being removed. Of course, there's places to go until you free yourself, free your mind in the end of those patterns, those thought patterns that have attached to your mind, and that you gave them power, and you said that that's true, that this is whatever, that's how it's done. So that dictates how your reality is. And then will play out until you free yourself and say, okay, I shouldn't have, it wasn't necessary to believe that or do that in order to get there. It was a shortcut, but I couldn't see it because I was too blocked. I was too trapped in those things. Yeah, so you know what you have to do. You just need to do the work if you want to move further into higher realities. I hope this was interesting. See you next time. Ciao. Felt exhausted. There's been so many blockages that